If I summarize everything I have learned through loving myself in the past few years, I could say that you should always love yourself blindly and love other people wisely. Loving other people blindly, in my experience, is the sign of low self esteem, sign of lacking self respect. When I did not love myself, when I was convinced that love comes from outside of me, I was always putting myself in a position of saving other people. This reminds me of the story of Beauty and Beast, that the smart girl thinks that her affection, her love can turn this beast into a prince. I mean, it happened in the movie, but let's be honest, in real life, it doesn't happen. And honestly, we don't even know what happened to them after the marriage. We have already seen that the prince actually had a very bad character from the beginning. And he done horrible things to Belle, but she kept persisting on loving the beast, developing feelings for her captive. And it's messed up. But as a young girl watching this movie, I believe that that is how it works. As a woman, I should always be affectionate, I should be loving, caring. I should try to turn a beast into a man, a prince, a man of my dream. And that kind of belief comes from you not valuing yourself at all. And of course, I'm speaking purely from my own experience as a woman. But I think this also applies to any gender. Anyone, really, who didn't learn how to value themselves, who believed that they had to save other people in order to experience love. So in the past few years, I have really worked on myself. I was able to see why I was behaving in the way that I did. Even though I grew up in a family where all my material needs were met, but emotionally I was hungry. I was hungry for affection, I was hungry for attention, I was hungry for approval. And so I ended up attracting all sorts of toxic people into my life, whether they were my friends or my romantic partner. And these people exploited me shamelessly, take advantage of me over and over again, up until the moment that I really saw what was happening and I cut them off from my life. And of course, upon cutting them off, I was guilt tripped by them and they turned me into the bad guy because I stopped giving them what they have been receiving from me all those years. And that was a great learning process for me. I've learned through that experience that no matter how much you give to other people, it will never be enough for them to love you because there was no love in them to begin with. Because a human being can love another human being as much as they love themselves. So how can somebody love you if they don't love themselves to begin with? Those who exploit others, those who want to use other people to feel good about themselves, the narcissist, the psychopath, they don't love themselves. As a matter of fact, they loathe themselves, they hate themselves, and therefore they project those judgments on other people. They hate others as much as they hate themselves. They despise other people as much as they despise themselves. And they want to lie to other people as much as they lie to themselves. So there was no love to begin with. And once I understood that, I turned inward. And I saw all sorts of self-hatred, self-shaming, self-judgment. And I had to sit with myself for a long time. And to really learn to love the part of me that I was hating for such a long time. Becoming aware of my shadow. Becoming aware of the part that I tucked away so that other people would love me. I hid so many things about myself, thinking that that part of me is not lovable. If I speak up, I'm not lovable. If I'm loud, I'm not lovable. If I'm visible, I'm not lovable. People wouldn't love me. If I share my opinion, they will hate me, they will judge me. I was brainwashed to believe all those things. Because I was told to be quiet, be nice, always listen intensely, pay attention to other people, always understand them, give them second chances, be good, don't be loud, don't share your opinion too much, always put other people in front of you, help them, save them, give them. And that's exactly what I did. And what I received wasn't love, wasn't appreciation. What I received was ugly, messy, painful, disappointing, disgusting even. And through those experiences, I saw everything so clearly that I apologized to myself. Apologized to the part of me that I had to hide away in order to receive other people's love. I had to say sorry to the part of me that I thought was too much. That she shouldn't be speaking up, that she should never share her opinions, she should never be honest, she should always be smiling, always be accommodating. I started to see that my biggest abuser was me. I was abusing myself. I was teaching other people how to abuse me, how to use me, how to exploit me. So I had to turn towards myself and say sorry to myself. I had to make amends with myself. And through that, I slowly learned to love myself. And loving yourself is never about seeing yourself as a perfect person. Loving yourself is about seeing that you are not perfect. You are not just one color. You are like a rainbow. One day you can be one color, next day you can be a different color. And loving yourself is that you choose to love all those different colors, all those different parts of you. And it's not just something that you do once and then you stop, It's not like a destination that you just arrive there and then you just stay there. It's something that you need to choose every single day. Because to be honest, for years of practicing self-love, I still do have some level of self-judgment. I do get triggered. I do feel like I want to hide away sometimes. And I do hear that some part of me still criticizes myself, criticize my work. For example, when I make these YouTube videos, there are voices in my head saying that you're just making a fool of yourself. Who's going to listen to you? Your opinion doesn't matter. But now I know how to respond to those voices. So that is what self-love is. Learning to respond to these voices, learning to deal with your shame in a loving and accepting way. That is what loving yourself blindly means. That you're accepting all of these imperfections. But when it comes to other people, you have to have conditions. You have to have a standard. You have to have a boundary. Loving other people blindly is never a good thing. Believing that if only you love them enough, then they can change is never a good thing. It's not healthy. It's toxic. Because once you truly, truly love yourself, then you will see that all of these stories from Disney, all of these true love stories that we were told, they were all toxic relationships. Because true love only exists between you and yourself. And once you are able to love yourself, then you will start to recognize the toxicity of other people's behavior. And I'm not saying that everyone is toxic, of course. And you will also be able to recognize when you meet someone who also loves themselves, so that they will able to show that love and respect to you as much as they show that love and respect to themselves. When you love yourself, you will be able to set conditions to the other person, whether they want to be your friend or your partner, no matter who wants to enter into your heart and enter into your life and to your home. You have to set certain boundaries. You have to have a standard. And letting them know that you don't fall for breadcrumbing. That just because somebody showed you basic human kindness doesn't mean that you're going to interpret that as an affection. Because once you love yourself, you realize that you deserve to be treated with basic human kindness. Because you are capable of showing that same kindness to other people. So why wouldn't you expect that? Because when I didn't love myself, I fell for those basic human kindness. When somebody showed me a little bit of kindness, a little bit of breadcrumbing here and there, I thought that that was more than enough for me. That is what I deserved. But now I look back, I was like, what was I thinking? It wasn't love. It wasn't affection. It's how it's supposed to be. And I had to wait until if they are capable of showing more than that. If not, then I'm not opening my heart. I'm not opening my home to those people. But then also loving myself is about looking back to those experiences and tell myself that you did enough. You did good, given what I knew back then. And I'm grateful for those experiences. Because of those experiences, I've learned how to love myself today. That is what I have learned through loving myself. And that is my new standard now. That I will love myself blindly. I'm always ready to accept myself, forgive myself, learn from my mistakes, and learn to talk to myself lovingly and with utter kindness. But when it comes to other people, I have standard. I have conditions. I've learned to love wisely, not blindly. And if you have any questions about any of the things that I talked about, if you want me to go deeper into any of the things that I talked about, please let me know. Thank you for watching, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.